Alright guys, TacticalRab here, and today I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And with the days ticking down to the Kickoff Classic here in just a couple of weeks time, lots of stuff to dive into today, especially Scump talking about his very high confidence in the state of OpTic Texas right now, but also the state of Search and Destroy in Vanguard and how it could potentially favour some teams over others. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can too. Top the channel reach new people, and please do subscribe as well if you have not yet already. First of all, this from the Boston Breach I thought was kind of interesting, just because every single day it seems they add a new question mark to their kind of a header here on Twitter. Now, some people were kind of suggesting really, okay, we know what the branding is going to be, we know what the team's going to be. The only thing we don't really know is what the logo is going to be. We know that the ownership group is kind of Oxygen Esports, and well, anyway, potentially it's going to be some sort of green and black. I mean, that's of course the colours they're going with so far. Would be kind of interesting because OpTic colours are obviously similar, but Oxygen Esports colours, kind of ownership group of this that are partnered with the Craft Esports Ventures or whatever, are basically the same colours as well. So generally pretty good colours for merchandise, I think, but we'll see how this goes because most colours, I guess, in the league have been taken right now. So maybe there's a spot for another green one in there. So I guess we'll see what they come out with here over the coming days. This then to mention from the Halo side, because the Anaheim Open Bracket will be hosted online. So there's an event in February, and with cases spiking out of control right now in the US, especially where this event is being hosted in California, they just didn't think it was possible to do the Open Bracket in person, and also spectators are not going to go to the event. This is a pretty big deal just because of course we've got the event in a couple of weeks time here. Now you know, whether that's going to go ahead with spectators in place. The CDL of course made the decision, and probably a wise one, to host this event in Texas so that well, some of these issues don't necessarily have to be raised if they don't want to. If spectators want to take the risk and go, they're probably going to be able to do that. Of course the CDL can make the decision at some point if they want to, you know, not allow fans in the venue again, but you know, at some point they've got to allow fans back. Cases are not really going down anytime soon, and you know, the CDL has to make some sort of profit from ticket sales, right? They can't keep cancelling spectators, I guess, forever. So it's an interesting one for sure what they do in the coming months, because, you know, we expect the next event, Major 1, I think, or maybe it's not Major 1, one of the majors is going to be hosted by OpTic, probably around Texas somewhere, maybe Dallas, maybe Fort Worth, something along those lines. And the other teams that were rumoured were Toronto and Minnesota to be also hosting majors. Toronto in Canada would be a very interesting one. Not sure spectators would be allowed there, at least with the situation right now. You do wonder whether it might be a decent idea to have one in Florida, for example, where these issues might not raise themselves so much. So it's an interesting time. I mean, I was obviously hoping going into 2022 we wouldn't have to talk about this stuff again, but it's obviously affecting this Anaheim event, so maybe it'll affect the Call of Duty stuff as well. We can hope not, but I guess we'll see how things go. This then to mention some scrims going down last night. Firstly, this was well, 18 and cracked. This squad was playing up against FaZe, didn't have the greatest time, it must be said. FaZe's of late in scrims have been looking pretty deadly indeed, but we'll talk about what OpTic have to say about their practice here in just a few minutes time. But this one, I mean, FaZe, you know, 250 to 50 on Gather 2, pretty well, pretty comfortable, let's just say that at the very least. Not all the maps were this comfortable, but I just thought I'd show this one in particular because this was pretty dominant. Now this also I thought was pretty funny from Arcitys really, because well, this comes out, it was against Boston here, 250 to 134 on the same map Gather 2, and well, Simp, aBeZy and Cellium have like well in the 30 elims, and Arcitys is sitting there with almost 2 minutes in the hard point, but only, you know, 20 something eliminations, as you guys might be able to see on the right hand side here. And well, anyway, this guy in the reply, wow, Arcitys is by far the weak link on FaZe. Hopefully he doesn't ruin it for them this year. You know, we won the map, and hold my nuts, he says, because he well tweets out this one, which is yeah, map 2 Bacage, which is 250 to 225, where he drops him and aBeZy both drop 63 eliminations on Bacage, which is I mean, look, if this map is played in competitive, as we imagine it will be at this point, given no other maps are coming in to save the day, it's there's going to be some crazy kills on this. I mean, both of these guys having 63 elims, just absurd stuff going on the map at this point. Now this also from Arcitys trying to go for a team nuke, not sure who they were playing against at this point, but still, Arcitys is on a 12 streak at 24 and 8. The entire team is on a streak, right? I mean, I guess combined, what is this, like 19, 21, 22 streak between the entire team? That is just pretty absurd. And even Illy in the reply right here, of course, it's a shame we don't get to see all these scrims right broadcast, but you know, we love nuke, says Illy, and at this point he was 18 and 1 in some team scrims, beating someone 142 to 20. I guess this kind of looks like Berlin, at least based on the kind of the colours in the background, not really sure, but I mean, still, Illy and Arcitys both having good times in scrims. That series FaZe played against Boston ended 4-0 in FaZe's favour, as you can see right here, so pretty comfortable. Didn't play a second set of hard points for whatever reason, but a lot of people are wondering right now, okay, when are people going to start playing Control? When are people going to start playing Search and Destroy? And Scump has certainly had a few words to say on that over these last couple of days. Firstly, I'll show a clip where he talks about the state of the team at the present time. Really confident in the current state of OpTic Texas, feels like they're learning and improving every single day, and that is a massive thing, to be honest, in terms of practice. If you're improving every single day, that's a massive step in the right direction. But also talking about Search and Destroy and how now, well, the state of it in this game might not be the best. Plays a lot like Infinite Warfare, actually.
How do I feel about the team? I was just talking about it, man. I'm feeling great. We're frying. Like, we're playing good. I feel like we're learning things every day. I feel like we all have like the same mindset, trying to improve. I feel like right now the team's in a good spot, a really good spot. Having a good time while playing, you know, learning. We're winning the kickoff? Okay, Kevy. Well, way to jinx it. Are you serious, Kevy? SnD, we did play Search today. Search is something in this game, man. Let me tell you. It's it's something. I don't know, you know, it's something. Search is gonna be it's gonna be an interesting year of Search and Destroy. That's all. You know, it plays. The best way to describe Search and Destroy this year is, you guys remember watching Infinite Warfare Search, where people would just 4-hit bomb sites? That's pretty much what it's like.
So Scump last year was undoubtedly one of the best Search and Destroy players of the season, without a question. And what he has to say on Search is very interesting, right? Plays like Infinite Warfare. Because interestingly enough, that was the best game OpTic ever had in terms of Search and Destroy. I remember during kind of the Jetpack era, when the OpTic dynasty of Scump, Crimsix, Formal, and Karma, with the peak of their powers, their respawn stats were insane. They'd win like 80% of hardpoints, like 75-80% of uplinks, if not even more. CTF was maybe slightly behind. And it was the Search and Destroys where you can actually beat them on. I think their win rate in Search and Destroy, let's say in Black Ops 3, was something like, you know, 55-60% or something. It was the respawns where they'd win a series. So that was the way to beat them. Take them to a game 5 and try and get the better of them. Now, Infinite Warfare, things changed around because they were still as dominant really in the respawns, but Search and Destroy was not played traditionally. It wasn't played like you could outplay someone, have some good set strats. It was effectively 4-hit a bomb site and, you know, try and win the gunfights. Of course, OpTic, with the team of Slayers they had, were all fantastic at winning the gunfights. So their win rate in Search and Destroy, I think, might have been the highest of any game modes like that they played in that game. It was in the 70% for sure. Now, of course, theoretically, this current new OpTic team, OpTic Texas, has, you know, Dashy Illy, like really smart Search and Destroy players. So you'd think that wouldn't be a necessity, but also in terms of gun skill, you know, this team is very deadly, right? So if Search and Destroy does play in the Infinite Warfare way, where effectively the best gun skill one wasn't really too skillful, just hit a bomb site and get some trades, and maybe if this gameplay is similar to that, then we could have a similar situation where teams that have all the gun skill are going to be more dominant in that game mode. You'd hope, of course, there is some more strategy to things, right? Rather than just, you know, hitting a bomb site like Infinite Warfare. Is kind of frustrating to watch at times, but you know, it certainly could favor some teams over others in terms of how they're building their roster. So Search and Destroy is an interesting one. The other part of things, I found this cracking tweet from Scump way back in 2012, where he's talking about, you know, confidence, right? But a difference between having an ego and being confident. Some just can't realize that, he says. Now, of course, look, I mean, confidence is massive in Call of Duty. Seems like he's really confident in the current state of his team, like one of the most confident he's been in a very long period of time. Like, I think the improvement thing and the learning thing is a massive deal, because a lot of discussion from Benjay and Asim, for example, on the flank last year, was that OpTic were kind of like a plan A team. That's what he always said. They never had a backup plan. They never had a plan B. If things started to go wrong for OpTic, like, it would very quickly collapse. The mental game would disappear. And it really felt like that, right? If they lost a game 1, if they lost a map 1 of a series to a team they were expected to beat, often the rest of the series would fall away from them. And, you know, it was kind of that idea that, yes, they're not the team innovating the meta. They're not the team setting new strats. They're kind of, behind the curve in terms of what they're bringing to the table. That's what Benjay and Asim would say a lot. I think he made some fair points on that front. If Scump is correct here, that they are continuing to learn and improving every single day, then obviously that's a good sign for OpTic fans, I guess, going into this coming season. So just to mention a few more things as we close out the video, this first there was another scrim set going down last night, Boston versus Rokkr. Just interesting how these teams might be matching up, because this one went 6-2 to Boston, and of course Boston had been very much switching it up with OpTic as of late, and I mean, FaZe took them down 4-0 pretty comfortably, so interesting stuff. And yeah, Rokkr getting beaten 6-2 like this, it's pretty impressive to see once again from the Boston guys, no doubt about it. This also from Shotzzy, just wanted to mention, because after they played the scrims, they played some Caldera, they played some, 8s actually were going on last night, which is good to see some pros actually getting involved in playing this game outside of just the scrims. But one of these maps was pretty absurd. I mean, as you can see right here, 250 to 33 here on Gabba2 seems to be a map that blowouts can certainly happen on. You've got Shotzzy, Sib, Envoy, and Zero on the winning team, and then the losing team is Huke, TJ, Vivid, and Methods. So, you know, theoretically, of course, a couple of these guys even play together. Right? Methods and TJ, like, you know, teammates on the Boston guys right now, and they get completely bodied off the map, right? 250 to 33. Shotzzy, understandably, with, well, something of a smile on his face right here. And just to finish off with this, right, because last night we talked about the kind of red pill, blue pill thing in terms of games. Attach remakes it to make the challenge significantly harder. It's Infinite Warfare versus Modern Warfare. It's World War II versus MW2. Modern Warfare, you know, the kind of the new one, 2019 against Black Ops 2, and Vanguard against Black Ops 3. Damn, it's a difficult question right here, as people were struggling with this one in the replies. But very much intriguing your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on a like button, tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
Wait. Did I have to restart my game? No, be a second, hope you reset settings. I optimized last two calls on this Halo. Yeah, you might. Let me know, bro, because formal to KCP, imagine. You're running Halo on Steam? Yeah. What's your favorite COD pro to watch? Shotzzy, bro, 100%. You guys are literally different. Shotzzy or Dashy? The CleanX wasn't that bad.